Howdy meowdy, and welcome to the weird little liminal space where I talk over my speed paints. This is the second ever one of these that I've done, which is very fun for me. Essentially, if you didn't read the title or didn't look at the thumbnail somehow, I don't know how you found this video if you didn't do either of those things, but the drawing on the docket today is my redesign of the picture that I made a few months back, I think. It has to have been multiple months back at this point, but I designed all of the Rolling with Difficulty characters as magical girls, which is a concept that I stole from Jinja Ninja about 2 years ago that I originally used for Forgotten Indigo, which is another tabletop RPG thing. It's very good. You should absolutely go check it out. But I also haven't actually finished it because, to make a long story short, I kind of just sort of fell off the wagon on it a little bit. I guess one of these days I plan on revisiting it. But the point is, even though I had done this thing where I take characters from one setting and I assigned each of them a magical girl show, even though I had done that like twice before, I, with Kyana's design specifically, when I did it with Rolling with Difficulty, I was uniquely dissatisfied with that one. So I decided to redo it, and I decided to make a speed paint about it, because I actually have, like, things to say about it. I have, like, a lot of stuff rattling around in my brain. I figured out the reason, as I was drawing this, I figured out that the reason that I had disliked, well, it wasn't even as I was drawing, it was as I was, as I was scribbling up, concepts and, writing down notes, I was trying to figure out why I had disliked her first design so much. And at first I thought it was just because I really didn't want to make her overcomplicated or too fancy, because fanciness is not a thing that is very Kyana, except fanciness is a thing that's very Pretty Cure. So I thought maybe it's just a little unfortunate confluence of the fact that I picked Pretty Cure for Kyana, because when I was Rolodexing in my mind through all the magical girl shows that I had seen to assign 4 of them to Kyana, Finbar, Virla, and Danny, I thought Precure was a very, very good choice for Kyana because of its tone and its structure. It's very Power of Friendship. It's very it's very colorful. It's a very episodic, very fun, very Kyana show. It's just it's got similar vibes. So that's what I chose for her. However, when I started making the design in the first place, I got really hung up on Red's description for in the end of season Q&A. I got a little hung up on her description of how any any form of clothing arrangement, so to speak, that isn't essentially very similar to what she's already had before is it's to quote her, it's just not gonna work. And I was over here okay, what is a magical girl outfit that Kyana would really take to, and also how do I make that outfit fit with Pretty Cure? I was trying to take the general idea of Kyana and then apply Pretty Cure stuff on top of that, and I didn't actually conceptualize what the design philosophy behind Pretty Cure outfits was, despite the fact that I had actually made, in the very first batch of magical girl designs that I ever made, I made one of the Forgotten Indigo characters as a Pretty Cure. I made Salif a Pretty Cure, but I realized as I was drawing this Kyana, the reason that my Pretty Cure design for Salif, it worked a lot better than my first Pretty Cure design for Kyana. I realized it worked a lot better because all of the Pretty Cure designs are very, 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 very focused in on theming. And Salif in Forgotten Indigo, it was very easy for me to just apply a frost theme to him, because, this is technically a spoiler, I'm very sorry, but he is like an ice wizard. He doesn't know this, he doesn't know this at first, but he is in fact an ice wizard, and then I also made his cute little bag that all of the Pretty Cures for some reason have like little bags at their hips. His cute little bag became like a little backpack because, he is an academic trademark symbol. He's so cute and wonderful and I adore him, but so because I centralized Salif's design around one theme, and one theme only, it worked out pretty well, I think. It looks a little, not plain or simple, it looks a little, I don't know, there are some things that I would do differently now, but as a Pretty Cure design, it's a good Pretty Cure design. Kyana's design was not that. What was I doing with that belt? I was trying to like reference her little dragon scale belt that Enoch gave her with the red belt, but that didn't work out, I don't think. So, instead, for this one, I actually gave her a cohesive theme. The theme I landed on was essentially like Star Voyager, because, the one of the most important pieces of Kyana's character is her general wanderlust, and also her, deep personal attachment to the Astral Sea specifically. Not to mention that her stated role on the ship is the navigator, even though she doesn't really do many navigator things. To harken back to, all of those things and make it like, you know, a cohesive, Pretty Cure magical girl design that is also very distinctly rooted in Kyana's character. When I was concepting, I started being like, ooh, I can give her a little telescope at her hip, like for an object that can replace the little bag that most Pretty Cures have. Then I was like, no, actually, maybe a compass would be better. And even then, you still can barely see the compass because it's on her left side, and I chose a pose that conceals it almost completely, but that's fine. I gave her that little pirate bandana thingy-majigger that is on her head, if you can to figure out that it's a bandana. What I did to completely change the silhouette from the first one, because the first one I was like, okay, all the Pretty Cures have, like, you know, that magical girl silhouette of, like, you know, the Lolita fashion-esque silhouette that happens with most magical girls. But I realized, actually, I was watching Tropical Rouge Pretty Cure, which is my favorite. Tropical Rouge was tailor-made. It was, like, systemically designed to get me specifically into the Pretty Cure franchise. The Pretty Cure franchise. Anyway. And in Tropical Rouge Pretty Cure, Cure Lemaire has pants. This is probably meant to, like, draw attention to the fact that, hey, she has legs now, because she started out as a mermaid. I love Laura so much. I need to stop talking about Tropical Rouge Pretty Cure, or that's gonna be the only thing I talk about for the rest of the video. The point is, I took, her, the thing they did with her where they were like, okay, much shorter, much less poofy skirt, and then also a pair, and then, like, leggings essentially underneath that. I took that idea, and I was like, okay, cool, they've set the precedent now. I can just give Kyana, like, a skirt-esque thing around her hips, and then also have her have pants, like she usually likes. Ta-da! And then I gave her these boots that I don't know, I think they look a little bit like, you know, boots that pirates or sailors wear. I keep using the word pirate, or, well, I've used it twice, and I'm over here like, Kyana's not a pirate, though. Anywho, And then also for like the smaller details, I gave her little epaulets like cruise workers have, and I made like those sailor knots, the sailor knot belt and the sailor knots around her little her glovies, so to speak. And then also, speaking of knots, I fully forgot in the beginning of drawing this. As you can see on screen, I forgot to give her like a bow in the back of her outfit, which every single Pretty Cure has. Every one of them, there is a bow. There is a bow in the back. And then I also fiddled with her hair a little bit because I realized when I put in the yellow highlights, oh no, I've just made Neon Valorant. But like, you know, I feel like Kyana looking a little bit like Neon Valorant. It works. They both do not want to be the main character. Anyway, and I also did a couple of signifiers for, like, the fact that she has, fully a second soul. So, like, every Pretty Cure has, like, a heart. Well, almost every Pretty Cure has, like, a heart somewhere on their outfit someplace. Usually in the center of their chest. So I thought, I'll give Kyana a big blue heart and then a smaller golden heart in the center. And then also, like I did with the first Pretty Cure design that I made for her, I gave her two ponytails instead of just one, to, like, you know, harken to the fact that, like, there's two souls in there. Two of them. And then the last change I made, which you'll see on screen in a second once I have once I've done a little more fiddling with the background, you'll see I actually changed her Pretty Cure name. I called her Cure Psy at first because I was like, I don't know, psionics, that's definitely not a thing that other Pretty Cures would have as their title, so I can do that. But then I was like, okay, I should think of something better than that. So what I did was I thought of the paraspora, which is essentially just a fraction of the phrase paraspora ad astra, and I was like, actually, there's no Pretty Cures named Cure Astra. And I think that would be a very cool little transformation phrase for Kyana here. So I did that. So everyone say hi to Cure Astra! I'm very happy. I'm much happier with this one, of course. And I hope you all had a good time hearing me ramble about the design conventions of the Pretty Cure franchise. Well, I don't know if I necessarily rambled about that part. The point is, you all should have a lovely night, and I'll see you when I see ya. I have been wanting to work on, I have been working on a gigantic animatic as of late. It's gonna be a bit longer for that one. So this was my solution in the meantime, because this design had been bothering me for ages. Y'all have a good one, eat some tasty snacks. I'll be seeing ya.